Hey, Nomad Adventure Biker here, back with another review. It's been a while. Today I'm reviewing a 2003 CB 600S, which is the one with the fairing. So let's go take a ride. We're here at Slane Castle, grounds are closed. Thought I'd get a better shot, but no. Anyway. Now, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. I'm going to try and get this channel back up and running so that I can depart my knowledge and experience of bikes that I've had over the last 30 years to hopefully aid you in making a decision on purchasing your next bike. So, as we see here, we have the nose cone. We have a Puig screen here, which is an add-on. There's nothing really much extra on this. There's a rear hugger, crash bungs, fancy radiator guard, and that is pretty much it. The clocks are different than the ordinary Hornet, and the fairing actually does give some really decent wind protection. I like this little bike. It's surprised me actually. How does it stack up today among newer bikes? Well, I think pretty good actually. Back in the 90s, the late 90s, Honda brought this out. And in my opinion, it was an era where Honda really did a good job on producing. The quality of their bikes was right up there. I found them a little bit heavy, but they were really well engineered, Honda bikes back then. This has 97 brake horsepower, and that's quite a bit for a 600. If you remember, I did a review on the Suzuki GSX 1250, the FA model. That was making 98 brake horsepower. So yes, the torque figures are different, but however, that's a lot for a little retuned CBR 600RR engine, and it gets going. This thing starts to sing now at around 8,000 or 9,000 revs. What do we got here? Keep her going, guys. Keep her going. Keep it going. Lots going on in Slane here today. But as you can see, this thing around town, it really shines. It scoots in and out of traffic with total ease. It really does. It's a fantastic little city bike. The tank range on it is about 174 miles before you turn on the reserve. Yes, it's a carb-fed model, so it does have a reserve. So for any of you younger dudes out there who haven't experienced a carb-fed with a tap, go check it out. It's an experience not to be missed. Now that's the thing about new bikes today. I mean, if you're starting out biking now, you're so spoilt for choice in what you've got. You know, you've got ABS. I mean, ABS, nobody thinks about ABS now, but that was a big deal when it came out. And fuel injection even, you know. No messing about with carbs anymore. The usual Honda gremlins apply to this, the regulator rectifier and the cam chain tensioners on this model, but you may never have any trouble with anything like that in the ownership of your motorcycle from Honda. It may not happen. You can be just, it's timing really. But back to the bike here, it pulls nicely from that 600 engine. It's no slouch for a 600, I will say that. It's very deceiving. It looks like a bike that's not up to much until you get on it. Nothing really happens too mad as I said, up until about, you start hitting past the 7,000 mark. It has a 17 litre tank, and it gets, like I said, about 174 miles to a tank. It's roughly around 41, 42-ish to the gallon. And that was pretty standard. I mean, I had a Varadero, I had a Pan-European. They were all in or around the same, which was probably the sweet spot where manufacturers wanted to get their bikes. Because, let's face it, whoever was buying this was either going to buy it as a second bike or a first bike, their very first bike, or a commuter. And this makes a really good commuting bike. Makes a lot of sense. The brakes are pretty good. They have 296mm discs up front. They're not linked like many of the Hondas of that era, but they do a good enough job. Again, you could beef them up with braided lines if you wanted, but I find them pretty acceptable. And on a bike like this, I'd be using both brakes. What's this guy doing? Or does he know? He seems to be a bit erratic. The clocks are nice, they're easy to read if it's in miles an hour. The very light blue of the kilometers per hour is a little bit harder to see now in the sunlight and that. But let's show you some. There you go. No slouch. No slouch at all. And I didn't even change gear. I didn't even change down. It's no slouch in the corners either. It feels nice and stable. Well planted, predictable. Obviously it's no MT10 or anything like that, but it works fine. There's a decent amount of protection from that screen. It's not bad. I'm not sure how effective it is without that little Puig screen there. I really don't know. But it's decent. It's definitely more effective than the naked version. The seat height is 31.5 inches. So anybody, any average size male or female will no problem be able to flat foot this thing. Very, very easy bike to get on. Very easy to ride. Sweeps through the corners. So this bike can be picked up for about, I suppose, about £3,000 here in Ireland. It's a 2003 model. It only has 10,000 miles on it. It was well looked after, has decent service history on it. So yes, bikes have gone up a little bit here in Ireland over the last year. There's been a bigger demand. The prices have increased with Brexit. Nobody is going to go to the UK for a bike anymore. The import charges are far too steep. So it's made bikes like these a little bit more desirable, and it's actually probably not a bad thing in a way, because there are a lot of bikes out there that are pretty underrated. They've been passed by over the years because you had such a selection when you went to England to buy a bike. There's been a few bikes similar to this that have been, you know, passed by. So as a second-hand buy, I think this is really good value for money. I mean, it has that Honda reliability. It's easy to get on with. You can throw a bit of luggage onto this, go away for the weekend on it. I haven't been on it with a passenger, so I can't comment on that. But the person who owns this bike is female, and she absolutely loves this. She loves it. She's had a VFR 800 and bought this and loves it. Loves how light, flickable, easy to manage it is. I mean, it's a real doddle to pull or push into your garage or pull out of your garage, turn, even on a hill. Nice and easy. And lots of people are looking for that. Just that ease of use. And it's pretty inconspicuous, really. But ask it to do a little bit more and she will respond. So So that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else to say about this bike. I really like it. I wouldn't mind one as a second bike. I like the way it rides. The mirrors, oh, by the way, the mirrors are pretty good. They can get a little bit buzzy up through the revs, as do the foot pegs when you're starting to push on a little bit. But as far as movement or buzziness on the bars or anything like that, no. Not even on the throttle. Throttle's nice and easy to get on with. So there you go. There's the review of the 2003 Honda CB 600S. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. As I said earlier on, I'd like to get this channel back up and running, and do some more reviews. I have one coming up very shortly again, and we're going to get the show rolling. So please feel free to comment below, and thanks for everybody who has talked to me on the comment section. I've enjoyed the chat over the last few years, and glad I could have been of help. So with that, take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.